Okay, so this is a bit of a mixed review, not only of Noodle Palace, but the show we saw tonight, which was the Opening Gala Explosion. Confusingly, I think it's the day after it opened, but you know, it's a Saturday night. It's a really good venue. It's upstairs at TAFE, so if you're in the main cultural centre of Fringeworld, that's what it's called. Yeah, I remember that now. So if you're in the main cultural centre, follow around the library, you'll see a giant polystyrene snake head, and go up the rickety stairs and you're there. It's a pretty good venue. Last year Noodle Palace was at the old cinema in the city, the derelict one that's filled with asbestos and no air conditioning. So it's a lot better this year. It's open air mostly, so it's a lot cooler. You know, the venues are in TAFE lecture halls and tutorial rooms and refectories and things. So yeah, it's sort of strange. It took me straight back to university, to be honest, as soon as I walked in. But it's a good venue. You know, it is probably a little more sanitised, not corporate, but yeah, corporate than previous years. But it's still a great venue. So Noodle Palace itself seems to be an initiative largely spearheaded by Thomas Ford. I won't go into detail about Thomas Ford. You know who he is. He's one of my favourites of Fringe. I think he's pretty much one of everyone's favourites of Fringe. So, you know, I'm in pretty good company there. He's a Rockingham-based cabaret / madman. He's fantastic. He's not doing as many shows this year. I was sort of hoping that his Stop Killing People show, the successor to Electric Cabaret, was showing this year at Fringe. It's not, unfortunately. I think it's showing at another festival later in the year, which I'll probably review as well. But he is doing a couple of shows. He actually opened last night with a Crap Music Rave Party. He's also doing another show called something, I can't remember. I'll put some details in the description. Thomas Ford at the End of the Fringe, that's what the show's called. Okay, so tonight what we saw was a bit of an opening gala explosion with pretty much a showcase of different Fringe, and particularly Noodle Palace performers. So we saw Iman, who's a riotously funny stand-up comedian. We saw Thomas Ford as the MC, Jekyll and James, who do some musical comedy. We saw Ben Target, who's largely prop comedy, which is an underrepresented genre. Adam Peter Scott, you might know him from Trivia Deathmatch. I didn't realise what a great stand-up comedian he is. He really is a bit of a talent, and you know, his stand-up comedy isn't really showcased as much in his Trivia Deathmatch as I'd like. Sam Perry, who is freaking amazing. I can't stress how much you've got to see him. You might know about him, beatbox, looping, basically using nothing but his voice and some looping hardware. He creates just an absolute soundscape. It's unbelievable. I can't stress enough how important it is that everyone goes to see Sam Perry. He's brilliant. We saw Dave Bluestein, who does some stand-up. We saw Richie Rawlings, who's sort of musical comedy. We saw Jeff Hewitt and John Bennett, both stand-up performers. Jolly Boat, who were actually rather surprising musical pirate comedy. Again, a very underrepresented genre. And we also saw Geraldine Quinn, another one of my favourites. I've seen her before last year at the Fringe, I believe it was. And I think I'll see her this year as well. So stay tuned for the review for that. Geraldine Quinn in particular needs a lot more respect. She's the absolute queen of just dark, funky, fun cabaret. She's amazing. So yeah, that was my review, mostly of the venue. There is also some, you know, there's a bar here, there's food, it's just a beautiful atmosphere. There's these lovely paper hats that are serving as lamps that you can probably see behind and above me. It really is a great venue. It's a lot better than last year. It's very different, but it's great, and it's sort of like a Fringe away from the Fringe. It's far enough away that you feel separated, but close enough that it's really easy access. So yeah, that's my review of Noodle Palace. See ya.